do things better and the right way in Nigeria. Well, our guest is with us in the studio. We have Mr. Jide Ojo, Public Affairs Analyst, a development consultant with us in the studio, and he'll be helping us with through the big stories. Mr. Jide, you look quite sharp. Not like you don't every day, but
today's a bit extra.
He's not wearing the cap like the last time.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing that's permanent in life is change.
Exactly.
So I decided to change for once.
Welcome.
Let me look European.
It's only a good look. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
All right. So much going on. So much is happening. And I'm sure every single Nigerian, save for those in primary school, might not just be following the story of the development around the rerun election in Adamawa. As a matter of fact, from the 25th of February, there's been... when did they do the governorship again?
18th of March.
18th of March.
Yes,
just eyes have been on Adamawa State from when it was considered inconclusive with Kebbi State. And then the rerun, the whole drama around how the resident electoral commissioner decided to announce the results, breaching protocol to a certain degree, and what ensued afterwards, where INEC had to call him to answer some question. And even the governor-elect who was announced, some people will say illegally, others will say, well, she has been announced nonetheless, went on to put out an acceptance speech in which INEC had said null and void, doesn't count at all. But she's gone to court.
Indeed, she has gone to court. She wants the court to stop INEC from stating that the announcement of her winning the election is null and void. But let's get into that story right now. The court has given condition for hearing Binani's application seeking to uphold her declaration as governor-elect. Justice Inyang Ekwo of the Federal High Court in Abuja on Tuesday temporarily declined to hear an application by Senator Aisha Binani Dahiru seeking an order of court restraining INEC from invalidating her declaration as winner of the governorship election in Adamawa State. Now, Binani had on Monday approached the court for leave to file an application for judicial review of the administrative decision of INEC made on April 16th in respect of her declaration as winner of the governorship election of Adamawa State held on March 18th and the supplementary elections of April 15th. Now, the application for leave to bring the application for judicial review was contained in an ex parte application filed on April 17th, 2023. However, when the matter was called on Tuesday, Justice Ekwo told Binani's lawyer, Mr. Mohammed Sharif, to first address the court on issues of jurisdiction. Now, Senator Binani, alongside her party, the APC, are in application seeking for an order of prohibition and certiorari preventing the umpire and its agents from taking any further steps towards the declaration of the winner of the elections pending the determination of application by the judicial review. So all of this, comes from the fact that the REC, who is by law not the one to announce the result, announced the result before the collation was completed and somewhat sidelined the returning officer because he wasn't even present at the time when that happened. And those who were there, party agents, called him out, stating that it was wrong what he was doing and collation was meant to, resume 2 hours before he announced that result. But then we saw her come out with a statement afterwards accepting the declaration of the result. And everything has somewhat played out. The PDP is now giving INEC 72 hours ultimatum to announce the results, to collect and announce the results. INEC has asked the REC, to come to Abuja and, of course, steps to be taken from his actions, which is against the law. All of this playing out right now, and, this court request.
I mean, people are a little curious because it's different for the person who was declared as winner running to court.
First and foremost, thank you for the opportunity to be on this platform this afternoon. Sometimes when you think you've seen it all, things do happen. As they say in local parlance, nothing must not go see forget. I've been observing elections since 1999. And this trumps every other thing I've ever seen. We need to establish that prior to 2011, resident electoral commissioners actually had the power to announce governorship election result. That was before 2011. We've since had 2011, 2015, 2019, 2023. Where did they get that power? Let me put this in context. Everything that has happened in Adamawa, there is a context to it. First, if you remember, PDP came out and accused INEC of empowering Binani for the election. How? Because our printing press was giving a contract sum of over 400 million naira. INEC came out and said, well, we did due diligence. We didn't see our name
as
the
one
list
of the
directors.
directors.
I don't think that is appropriate. Personal opinion. I'm not reading law here. But I think being one of the contestants that have emerged in the election, and the name, and whatever due diligence INEC is claiming to have done, maybe, I think, for purposes, not for legal reason, but for moral reason. You know, something may be legal, but be immoral. Because this is a frontline candidate, and he decided to give our company a contract sum of over 400 million. Meanwhile, this is to print sensitive election material, result sheets, perhaps other vital documents. And this is a frontline candidate. Are we so sure, given the scenario that is playing out, that her printing company did not help themselves to some vital documents?
Well, that's usually what will come out from that if you're not proactive to addressing it. All kinds of insinuations.
And that's what I'm saying. So I'm laying the background. Number two, if you do a Google search, you see Sahara Reporters' news report on March 19 that the same Udu Yunusa Ari, barrister at law, was caught on tape instructing one of the electoral officers, the one responsible for Fufure local government, to assist in making Aisha Binani governor. Do a Google search.
It's all there.
It's a March 19. This came public, PDP petition. I said, this man, because according to Sahara Reporters, it claimed that when their reporter called Yunusa Ari, it denied, but at the same time was trying to negotiate with their reporter. This is online. Now, PDP demanded...
Well, that's the side of Sahara Reporters.
Which it's not about the side now. I'm building a story.
Okay.
Because there is a background to everything that you see. And if you read carefully, Sahara Reporters, the man said, you need to help this woman win. That is the instruction from higher authority, paraphrasing. Which means he wasn't acting alone. That's number two. Number three was what happened on April 15. You have a Professor Mohammed Mili, University of Maiduguri, Professor of English, that you have appointed as returning officer. They were collecting results. They've announced 10 local governments, and they adjourned at 1 a.m. for 11 a.m. later that morning. You came around, only you, The national commissioners, 2 of them, that were sent from Abuja were not with you. We saw that footage. The oil was scanty. The commissioner of police, maybe the DSS, and maybe one other, about 3 of them sitting on the high table. And then without any result. I say, no single piece of paper. Before this man, you said, by powers conferred on you, you are declaring somebody winner of an election. Is that the way Aisha Binani was elected when she was elected into House of Reps? Was that the way she was elected when she was a judge winner in 2019 as Senator of the Federal Republic? How come? And then, as if that was not enough, you left 2 hours, 9 a.m. The returning officer said, let's meet at 11. Then you disappeared into thin air. That action alone led to the molestation of another national commissioner that was stripped naked, Professor Zuru, from what I learned. The man never knew anything. Walked into protesting youth, and we saw how he was stripped. Meanwhile, Udu went into hiding. If he was sure what he did was right, he should have faced the crowd. So, all of this, then moments later, Aisha Binani accepted victory. Is that the way it's done? Acceptance speech was, the most infuriating thing for me is that it's okay if somebody who doesn't understand law did this. We are talking of a lawyer. Even in the correspondence of INEC, they say barrister Udu Yunisa Ari, which means it's a barrister at law. So, why usurping the powers of another person? And I am a gender activist. I would have been very delighted to have Senator Aisha Binani as the first female elected governor of Nigeria. But this is not due process. And to cap it all, you now have the audacity to approach the court for judicial review. Of what?
Interpretation, perhaps, because the argument.
Listen, Kim. The interpretation of a post-election matter. This is already post-election. It's not pre-election matter. You cannot go to court over. The only place for Aisha Binani to go is Election Petition Tribunal. INEC had every power under Section 65, subsection 1 of the Electoral Act 2022 to review whatever any of his staff had done. And you can read it out if you have the gazetted copy. It's very comprehensive. He didn't even say only returning officer. Say whatever any of his staff has done, which is contrary to regulations and guidelines. And INEC used that power Sunday afternoon when my Festus Okoye Esquire, he used a statement that his attention has been drawn to and you saw the wordings, usurpation of the powers of returning officer and declared null, void, of no effect. So what judicial review is she trying to, just to make the law fait accompli? For God's sake, we should not throw this country into turmoil. And so far, where I fought INEC, I would say 2 instances. The first one was giving Aisha Binani's company that sensitive contract. Number 1. Number 2 was not to have redeployed
the REC
ahead of April 15. Somebody was caught on tape. And it was made public. The fact that he denies he never did it is not sufficient. And by the way,
perhaps to remove every shadow of doubt.
Exactly.
To remove him because a lot of people are saying he just could have been a manipulated deep fake audio and video.
Whatever it is he manipulated when he now announced a winner, which he doesn't have? Everything is working in tandem. It seems a grand plan well orchestrated, with exactly what, because, okay, if you said it was, that audio tape was manipulated, was his picture, the video of his declaration also manipulated? You know, this is, and then Aisha Binani swinging into action, first accepting, second going to court for review.
Let's take a quick break here for commercial. We'll be back in a bit. Please stay with us. Hello, my name is Kimberly. I'm the host of Hard Facts, and I bring you the biggest stories driving conversation every weekday here on 95.1 Nigeria Info Hard Fact Show. I love to get your opinion and conjectures, but the facts you cannot dispute here on Hard Facts. Join me and let's talk.
Connection established.
Nothing breaks the news like the news. Trust me, I can prove it. I do it every morning on Morning Crossfire from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Nigeria Info 95.1, and I'm Femi D. Amede. Join the biggest conversation around the national politics every day in a way that is trustworthy, full of passion, and yes, covers the biggest politics and the stories that matter to you. See, you have all the reasons to find out what's going on in Nigeria and be engaged differently. Let's talk. That's the way to go, even this morning.
This is Nigeria Info.
We have Mr. Jide Ojo here as we look at that and other stories driving conversation. So, yes, a lot, for a lot of people, it's just mind-boggling what happened. And then people are waiting with bated breath to see the response of INEC to all of this. People have said, he should be arrested. He should not be allowed to get away with this. INEC had a meeting. They first called him and said he should stay away from duty, which some people felt the language wasn't so strong. They should have used suspended.
Yeah.
However, other argument is this man and regs are appointed by the president.
Yeah.
So there are certain words INEC cannot use because they do not have the power to remove him. And so INEC is now calling on the Attorney General of the Federation through the right authorities to do the needful, as much as they're calling on the Inspector of General Police to prosecute. I mean, what else can INEC do beyond what they've done at this point in time? Beyond the initial...
INEC belatedly is now acting. You see, this is what happens when you don't name certain things in the board. If INEC had shown faith, did not give contract to Binani's printing company, removed or redeployed, because it happens, even with Nigerian police, you see on the eve of every election, they redeploy the CPs. You know, they move the one in Rivers, they can take him to Benue, and then why are they doing this? It's for a reason. So that in case you have collected you have to return because you will not be able to deliver. But here is a man caught on tape, published in the newspaper, and there is a petition from PDP to say that this man has his hand in the pie. And you didn't do anything. Now, from Sunday, INEC has tried to redeem his image. First was the debunking the declaration that is null and void and unconstitutional. 2 was being asked to stay away. 3 is summoned to Abuja. We learned possibly he could not come to Abuja because of the aviation workers' strike. But from what Okoye Esquire said, the returning officer was in Abuja as at yesterday. So now I believe after the meeting they had earlier today was that tweet from Mr. Rotimi Oyekomi saying that 3 things. 1, the Inspector General of Police will be written to effect arrest and prosecution of the which means prima facie case has been established against
already.
him.
All right.
That's number 1. Number 2, to also defer to the appointing authority. They said they will write to the Secretary to the Federal Government, SGF, to call the President's attention to this infraction and for necessary action, because it's only the President on the approval of 2/3 of Senate that can remove. And you see, this institutional safeguard was to make sure that you are not harassed and you cannot be removed, recklessly. But he has acted recklessly. This man has put democracy on danger.
And given the fact that there's strong speculation that it was induced financially by
2 billion was mentioned.
It takes away from the credibility of a lot of things.
2 billion was mentioned as having exchange hand.
Allegedly.
This is part of what INEC needs to investigate, because there is a face to the person who made that confession. And it is for the police and DSS to go further if truly there were money that exchanged out. So, as at this morning, INEC said IGP will be asked to effect arrest and prosecute. The appointing authority, through the Secretary to the Federal Government, the attention of the President will be brought. Number 3 is that the returning officer has now been asked at his own convenience to reconvene and conclude the collation process, which means that
I thought they agreed on Thursday, or not.
No, there was
definite just
in
yet.
the tweet I read, there was no specific date. They only said the returning officer should give indication as to when he will be able to conclude the assignment, which means that they are not even waiting for whatever Udu or any other person will be saying. Because now you have the 2 national commissioners who went there to supervise have returned to Abuja as at yesterday. They've heard from them. They've heard from the returning officer. So, and we all saw the footage of how the REC usurped the powers of the returning officer, which is against the letter and spirit of Section 25, subsection 2F of the Electoral Act, Section 65 and 66 of the Electoral Act, which has given the power to returning officer to so make that kind of declaration. And you see, I still blame the political class, the desperate political class of every. PDP is making Yanga now. They are doing as if they are the saints. Who did what happened in Obingwa? Who did the Obingwa that put that woman, that returning officer, under duress? You didn't listen to her story?
Oh, no, Professor Oti,
Professor Oti.
They brought money, pressure, and threat and all of that.
But she resisted. Who did that? Or who should we presume did that? Because the candidate that was costing on to victory was Labour Party candidate. And we know that the ruling party in the state is PDP. But you see, we just allow
all beds of the same father, same different side of the same coin.
That exactly is the point. Nobody should come and be grandstanding and say we fought for this. Who in the 16 years of PDP did they do any better? They are all based off the same feather. Look at what happened in Kogi. Look at what happened in Kogi over the weekend.
I mean, if we're even looking at political parties, look at Imo State example, even with the Labour Party, and you start to see different primaries held. Kogi State, different primaries held.
This is how they bring the country into standstill. Two candidates as emerging Labour Party in Imo State. 2 factions.
Kogi State
the same with Abga. Now Kogi. Saturday, and he said it will be okay if they rig the election. There was even no election. But
they were giving Saturday his advice back. Wait till 2027.
Exactly. You should wait till 2027. That's what goes and comes around. And you see, I said in my column 2 weeks ago, I said, look, we have democracy without Democrats. The political class are so desperate for power. They are ready to kill, maim, and destroy. And we should just not be too fixated about Adamawa. See what happened in a federal constituency election in Ikono, in Akwa Ibom. 6 lives purportedly lost over federal. We are talking about supplementary election in 17 polling units.
Yeah.
And they went violent. They took all the election material, took the beavers, and at the end of the day, Dr. Siri Omoregbe said election is cancelled. 17 polling units they will not allow. The one in Adamawa is 69 polling units, not even the entire state. And you can see this not in my backyard attitude. So, years back, Professor Ataru Jega said politicians always have a war chest to even induce election officials. And this is what we have seen. The desperation for power at all costs. But you see, this 2023, people should just temper. I wish, I have a lot of respect for Senator Aisha Binani. I have never met her. But as a gender activist, I wish she could break the glass ceiling. What Mama Taraba
but not under questionable circumstances.
But not under this questionable circumstance.
Exactly. I mean, I know a lot of women advocate.
Groups.
Yeah.
Which women group has issued a press statement?
Nobody will, because as much as you want a woman, you don't want the first democratically elected woman coming under.
This is a tainted victory. No woman group I know has ever come out, even with a statement, not even to protest in their favor. All those who have been coming out in their favor are APC, Adamawa.
Yeah.
But you know that's for their own selfish political gains. But we must protect this democracy because there is no other game in town. If we destroy this, and this is how it starts. Disputed election led to the first coup on January 15, 1966, disputed 1964 and 1965 Western Regional election. That's what then led to the first coup in Nigeria. And this is how it snowballs. Adamawa is already in the under security.
I want us to look at another dimension also, because the state is already to a certain degree charged up. You can see pockets of protest saying declare this person. And I don't envy INEC at this point in time, neither do I envy the returning officer, because it's going to be an interesting situation. Whoever is announced, there will be controversy.
There won't.
How so? If they go ahead and compute with IREV and say, is this person A woman or B man? Either side would protest.
You could see that the winning party was calmer. When Fintiri was asked his opinion, of course he tongue-lashed the Udu guy, but said people should be calm. The result of 69 polling is already on IREV. Everybody sees. The man was leading with 31,249 votes. And from the 10 local government polling units, he was still leading. So the result is already on IREV. If Binani knew she's costing home to victory, this is where you know the losing party. When they resort to self-help, you know that they are losing. Remember what Labour Party chairman did on the evening of February 25th this year, when he called for the cancellation of result of that election. Did you remember? He issued a statement. Election that the results have not even been collated fully. He was saying, no, this election was cancelled. And I said, does this man know what I don't know? Because as at that evening, results, yes, maybe at polling unit level, but because it goes from ward polling unit to ward, from ward to local government, from local government to state, before it comes to the national. So if somebody is already saying cancel, you know that they are on the losing party. If they are winning, they will want to protect, and that's the very mischievous thing by the political class. This woman now wanted to reap where she didn't sow. Somebody illegally declared you winner, and you want to take that to the court to say, no, this can only be validated by the tribunal. Oh, so can she come with the full result? Because this is the rough challenge that Udu started. How can you, even if you want to read for somebody,
All right.
declare a figure that this is what
By
this
this
the margin of a victory,
Which is standard protocol.
standard protocol. Then you know, oh, okay, how did you arrive at this figure? But in this case, she just came, and then gentlemen of the press, by power confirm me, and now declare.
Even though there were people who were telling him not to at that point
But
before he did.
in moving forward, I mean, we've got about 10 local governments pending collation, right? And when the winner is eventually announced, there could be a breakdown of law and order because each party, they've got their supporters, and each party right now believe that they are the ones who have won the election even before the collation was done with. How would the government ensure that, peace is still in place regardless of who emerges winner eventually?
Well, I will just plead with the authorities. I know Adamawa is the home state of the wife of the president. The president has soft spot for Adamawa state. But this is the time the president should be a statesman by ensuring that he orders the IG and the military to ensure that there's no breakdown of law and order. The results, as of today, is already known by the parties. They know. By now, they know. You are talking of only 69 polling units, and the results have been uploaded on IREF. I mean, I'm sure if you register to be on IREF, you can see the results.
Oh, right now it's almost open for everybody.
So how will you now claim that you won when everybody can see, do the tabulation?
No, but so far I don't think all of the last time it was checked, all of the results is up on IREV. So not everyone can say authoritatively that you have 100% of the results on IREV enough to draw that conclusion.
But by now, since INEC did not come out to say that there was no election in any of the polling units, this could have been altered because of what happened. Because, the moment one party resorted to self-help, you may just say, what's the whole essence of just posting this? They've already announced it. Because the coalition officer from the local government, from what we read, were in that premises still doing the final tally. You get? They were still doing the final tally.
We don't have all the results on IREV just yet.
Even if the whole result is not on IREV, it's already with the party agent.
Okay.
So that party agent, because unless any of the party did not field a polling agent, that's when you will not have your authentic result. And you will have done your parallel vote count. That's why PDP is saying declare the rightful winner. If Fintiri is not even saying declare me winner, he's saying declare the rightful, because he has the advantage of knowing. 69 polling units, you will not be found wanting in making sure that you have authentic results. So what I'm saying is that, since this is about state governorship election, yes, the governor is the chief security officer, but the governor here is also a party to the crisis. So it is incumbent on the federal government, ordering the Inspector General of Police, the military high command, to ensure. Already, Adamawa is under state of emergency from many years back. I don't know how effective that has been because of Boko Haram, but we should not allow breakdown of law and order and further bloodshed over this Adamawa crisis. But last point I need to make, Nigeria Bar Association should discipline Udu. They should discipline, because they have brought the legal profession into a disrepute.
All right, then. Let's look at some comment quickly before we get to the next story. Mr. Itodo will be leaving us at the top of the hour, so let's get some thoughts in.
All right, going straight to YouTube right now. You can join the conversation at Nigeria Info Abuja on Facebook and YouTube. We are live. Both of you are wearing black, sort of. I believe Kim is a movie enthusiast like me, and I think another name for All right, Banky, thanks for your thoughts. Ebere Joseph Ani Ministries, good afternoon. Hadfax team, what is happening in Adamawa is a shameful act. I don't just know where INEC is getting its staff, though it's the president appointing them. And Oshon Cornelius says, when we get it wrong through election, where is our hope of a greater Nigeria? Seriously, our leaders are taking us to the mud. Who did this to us? I pledge peace. And Gom Daniel says, good afternoon, Chief Jide and the crew. I always love your analysis. I'm supporting Binani to come as the first female governor in Nigeria, but I think that she's coming about it following a wrong step. And Naba Peter says, Kim, Itodo, Mr. Jide, I'm deeply vexed in my spirit. Haba, all the principal actors involved in this civilian coup, either lawmakers or lawyers. Ari is a lawyer, Binani is a senator, and Chukwudi standing Uche says, okay.
All
Let's
right.
leave it at that.
On Facebook, we have Linus joining us, Noah Abdisalami also. And yes, Minister Emmanuel Bachetu is also following us on Facebook. It says, well done, Comrade Jide Ojo. The woman is being a hustler and a poor one at that. Also, Francis Namani says, watching live from Amagunze in Enugu State. Good afternoon, Kimberly, Itodo. Honestly, INEC and Meta disappointed. And a lot of Nigerians are also. The electoral body to be totally overhauled to get the best out of them. Judiciary has a very tedious job in order to correct some of the anomalies witnessed during the 2023 election. Let's hear this caller. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to you.
Good afternoon, gentlemen, Itodo, Digital Oracle, and Mr. Jide Ojo. How are you, sir?
I'm fine. Good afternoon, sir.
I most appreciate you for this rare objectivity you demonstrated today. It's a special one. May God continue to bless you.
Amen.
It's unfortunate the woman that a lot of people hold in high esteem because she had been enjoying best wishes prayer across the board nationwide, not on party basis line. A lot of women, even men, are praying that let this woman emerge, but through due process. But some of the APC from stakeholders from the APC camp have wasted this woman good will she enjoy. It's a very unfortunate one. Thank you. That is my take.
All right, thank you.
All right, let's hear you next.
Hello? Hello, Kim Itodo and our guest.
Welcome to you.
Good afternoon. This is Mary from Gwagwalada.
Go ahead, Mary.
Yes. I want to react on the Adamawa supplementary elections. And I want to say I am surprised that our guest mentioned PDP, mentioned Imo State. You did not mention the February 25th election. That was where the problem started. And they are just emulating what happened on that 25th February. And I expect that it's not enough for them to say the INEC commissioner should stay away from the office.
Hello, Mary.
Uh-oh.
Okay, the connection. Welcome to you.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Yes. Good afternoon, Itodo, the vocal voice, and the guest, Mr. Jimmy Ojo. Sorry, my name is Kedi.
Kedi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, welcome.
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I think we don't deserve the stress which INEC is putting the whole country through, right from the presidential election up to this time. INEC is just subjecting Nigerians to unnecessary stress simply because they are not straightforward. They are not direct in dealing with issues. Just as the guest said, why did you leave this man in that place up to this time when there was a lead that this is his behavior? Now you leave him, the man feels that yes, you can even do more than what he did. I think INEC is not being fair to Nigerians. Having promised us credible, transparent and free and fair elections, having promised us without any mention of words, and then to come and subject Nigerians to this. And I think I'm happy what the judge said, that the judge from where Binani has run to, that they should go and study the issue of jurisdiction. Because like they just said, jurisdiction, this is a post-election matter. Why do you run to a court? Go to the tribunal. If the tribunal is ready sitting. So we are just begging for the court, the judiciary, to help Nigerians with this democracy before it collapses finally, please. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kedi. We'll take one more and then look at another story.
Welcome to you.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, thank you very much. My name is Hola, the Indomitable, calling from Lube. And I greet Mr. Itodo very passionately this afternoon.
Good afternoon, Ola. Today.
Yes, I'm very okay. Thank you very much, sir. You see, prior to the election, there were allegations to the effect that some of the REC who are nominated to INEC card carry members of APC, or some of them had a sympathy for APC. And, it was set under the carpet. Nothing was done. Those people were allowed, to have their way. So I'm not surprised that this kind of a thing is actually happening. But let me quickly had this to hold this conversation. Everything pointed to the fact that, look, this was a script well written. It was orchestrated by the powers that be. It's just that along the line, the main actor who was supposed to, the lead actor messed up with his lines. And that was why we were in the position we're in now. Look, if INEC cannot convince me as a Nigerian, and when I say INEC, now even from INEC chairman, he cannot convince me as a Nigerian that he was not part of it. Do you know why? By even allowing this man, this barrister, this reg that called himself a barrister, to continue with that what's it called supplementary, it showed that they were complicit in this. It's just that at the end of the day, the script went all right. That was what happened. All of them were part of this from edge to toe, from bottom to they were all part of it. But I believe they will destroy Nigerian democracy. Thank you very much.
All right, Ola. Thank you.
Okay, that's Ola's own thought about this. And we're getting an update, yeah? That
Yes, we have an update right now. Just in, INEC reconvenes for collation of Adamawa Guba polls result. Mile Lamido, who is the returning officer of the governorship election, is present at the collation center in Yola, Adamawa state capital. Festus Okoye, INEC National Commissioner and Chairman of Voter Education, is also seated. And the collation, which was halted on Sunday after Hudu Yunusa Ari, the REC, declared Aisha Binani Dahiro as the winner. It's reconvened after that was put on hold.
Hopefully in the next few hours, maybe, if it drags that long or less. Yeah, we should
be laid to rest.
Exactly, and then see how the state can move ahead with governance issue, hopefully setting aside politics if it's the last we've heard of it altogether. It'll be interesting to see. Well, our time is almost up. Let's just look at some comments and let Mr. Jide give us some final thoughts. He has to leave at the top of the hour.
All right. Dear Oracle, I want to thank you guys from the depth of my heart. You don't know how this program saves me from daily Nigeria struggles all through the weekday. God bless you abundantly. God bless you as well. Umaru from Lube right there. On Adamawa result declaration, I urge INEC to carry out psychological evaluation on the REC. If he is guilty, he should be jailed in accordance with the Electoral Act. I congratulate the opposition on the just concluded election. All right. Amodu from Saburi, and he says, greetings to the guest. Despite the suspension of Adamawa REC, it needs to be investigated, interrogated, and tried accordingly as a deterrent to others. I don't know what is wrong with the electoral umpire, regardless of peaceful, credible, and transparent polls, which they promised Nigerians. Also, Francis Namani. And good afternoon. Okay, skip that. And this one says, senior straight political... Come on. All right. Your guest has said it all, but as for me, it is now very clear that... Okay. All right. Thank you very much for your thoughts right there. Let's move on to another one right now. Okay, Kim. Let's have Jide share his thoughts.
People are very emotive about this, and rightfully so. You know, the most painful part for me is some of us who daily come up in defense of the commission. They are making our job difficult. You get to a point you cannot defend certain things. And it's not like I come on here to defend INEC as against the opinion held by many people. It's just that I have more knowledge of
the inner
workings and procedures of laws concerning the electoral process. Many people don't know that. They don't. Election matter is sui generis. That's why when Binani went to court, I didn't even know the issue of jurisdiction has been raised by the judge himself. because the judge knows he cannot entertain that case, even as on ex parte. But people, desperate politicians will try anything just to, a drowning person will clutch at a straw. But it's hard for me. I'm watching live feeds on channels as the collation has resumed. Let's hope this will bring a closure. But if INEC does not weed out the wheat, the wheat from the chaff, the name of the commission will continue to get dented. And I sympathize with the leadership of INEC. You hire 1.4 million people to help you work, whom you don't know their background.
Can we pause you on that thought right now? Go on this quick break and have you conclude shortly.
Of moral decadence.
This is Nigeria Info.